Welcome back!
Welcome! Hi, my name is Poppy and this is my mom, Kim.
Hello!
And welcome back to another episode of
Bake-a-rama,
California!
What are we making today, Poppy?
Yeast bread.
Ooh, yeast bread. We had a lot of requests for yeast bread, so we're going to make mashed potato bread.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh.
I can't really do the mashed potato.
Me either.
What ingredients do we need today?
Flour.
This is all-purpose flour, but you could use bread flour if that's what you have.
Salt. Mashed potatoes.
From our dinner last night, you can use any kind of mashed potatoes. If you don't have mashed potatoes, you can take a baked potato and smash it up with a fork. Just as long as you have about a cup of potatoes.
Honey, milk.
And the
Yeast.
star ingredient, yeast. You can use either instant yeast or active dry yeast, and we'll show you how to use either one. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so the first thing we need to do is warm up our milk with the potatoes and the honey. So you need 2 cups of whole milk if you have it. If you only have 2% milk, that's fine too. All right, and then you can throw those mashed potatoes in there. Well, don't throw them actually, because I'll get splattered with milk.
It still happened.
Okay, it still happened. So then we need 1 tablespoon of honey. Honey.
Raise your hand if you like honey.
We're big
Is
honey
this
fans. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Just stick it in there. Here, let me get...
It's actually very hard to deal honey because it's very sticky.
It's super sticky.
It's superstitious. Stickiest.
It's,
Superstitious.
you're only adding a little tiny bit of honey because yeast likes to eat the honey, and it helps the yeast get all excited and want to party.
Okay. I don't blame the yeast because I actually love honey too. Honey is amazing.
Okay, so now we're going to take that over to the stovetop and we're going to warm it up. So let's take it on over. All right, so let's turn it on to medium. There you go. And kind of stir that together with your favorite wooden spoon.
If you have a wooden spoon, of course.
Or a spoon, or a whisk even. Heat this up until it's steaming. And then we'll turn it off and we can take it back over to our workstation. Okay, so we're just gonna pour this into a mixing bowl. You can pour it into the bowl if you have a stand mixer, or if you don't, you can just pour it into a mixing bowl. And let's take its temperature.
Okay.
Because when you work with yeast, it has to be a very specific temperature. How hot is it right now?
128.
So that's way too hot for yeast. You want it to be between 105 and 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Otherwise, if it's too hot, your yeast will die. And if it's too cold, your yeast is still sleeping and it won't wake up. So we're gonna wait until it gets to 110 degrees. So you can just use a big whisk if you want to kind of whisk it and cool it down. That helps cool it down. And let's take its temperature again. What does it say, Poppy?
114.
Perfect. So now we can add our yeast. So there's 2 kinds of yeast. There's active dry yeast and there's instant yeast. If we are using active dry yeast, we'll add that right now. That's what we're going to use, just because I think it's cool. And we'll cut that open. So you can sprinkle that in. So if you use active dry yeast, you need to add that to your warm liquid, which is our milk, between 105 and 115 Fahrenheit. And then we're going to give it a little whisk, and that will activate the yeast. So we have to activate it if you're using active dry. You can see it in the name. But if you're using instant, you could just pour that in and then start adding your flour immediately. But we're going to give it about 10 minutes, and then we're going to see something really cool.
Did you know that yeast actually feeds on the milk and then it like farts and it blows up the dough?
It's true. That's how bread rises. It's all the yeast farts.
Yes, just the yeast farts.
It's actually carbon dioxide.
Yeah,
But it's yeast farts.
so you're just.
So yeast is alive. Did you know that?
I know that.
It's alive and it goes in there and it eats and it likes sweet things. It likes the milk because that's sweet, and it likes the honey because that's sweet. And so it'll start eating and it'll start bubbling up and farting, and it'll be so great. And then we'll add the flour and I'll have even more to eat. Cool. All right. So it's been about 10 minutes and it looks like a foamy latte. So you can see little bubbles and things. So we are going to add our flour. We need 5 cups of flour, but you only need to add maybe about half. So maybe add like 3 cups of flour now and we'll start mixing it.
Okay.
Oops.
1.
Okay. All right. Okay, so you want to use your dough hook if you're using a stand mixer. And we'll pull that stand mixer.
Hook.
She is a pirate, actually. And if you're doing it by hand, you can use a wooden spoon. Or if you're using, it's probably not good for just a handheld mixer because the bread dough is quite stiff. So I would say either do it in a stand mixer or use a wooden spoon.
Yeah.
So put your dough hook on. All right, and then we'll turn it on to low to start, just to get it all mixed in.
Want to make that yeast happy.
And then once that's mixed in, how many did we add? 3? 3
Yeah.
cups? We'll add 2 more cups and 2 teaspoons of salt. So you can go ahead and start adding the salt, and I'll get the rest of the flour.
And do it first. I win.
You won. Whee! So you want to let it go until it's all mixed, and then we'll turn it up to medium, and then we'll let it knead for about 8 minutes or so. Okay, so if you don't have a mixer, you can stir the dough in a bowl until it all comes together and then pop it out onto your work surface and knead it by hand. And to knead it, you just want to kind of pick it up and spin it a little bit and push it back down on itself. And you're going to need to do this for about 10 minutes until it's nice and smooth and it feels like a marshmallow. Kind of like that.
Okay.
All right. It's been about 8 minutes, and I think our dough is ready.
Oh my god.
I know.
Looks like good dough.
So it's much smoother, and it's pretty sticky dough.
Ooh, and it's warm.
And it's warm. So you just want to scrape it into the bowl, and we are going to...
Knead the dough.
No, the dough's already been kneaded.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that with this hook of dough. What a hook.
Okay, so we're just gonna cover it with a damp kitchen towel, and then we're gonna put it in a warm spot, and we're
Like
gonna
the oven?
put it in a turned off oven. That's a great place to put it.
Okay.
And then make sure your oven's not on. And we're gonna let it rise for about an hour until it's doubled in size. Okay? See you in an hour.
Okay.
Hi, we're back.
Hi.
It's been about an hour.
Yep. And it's time for the grand revealing. Whoa! What?
Look at that bread.
Look.
Cool, huh?
Risen.
Yeah, it's like exploded.
It looks like a hot air balloon or a bouncy ball, but with farts inside instead of air.
Okay, so we are going to dump it out onto the work surface. It might be a little sticky, so you might have to just grab it. Don't worry if it deflates a bit. That's fine. Wow, look at all that dough.
Good.
Okay, so get a knife, or we're using a bench scraper, and cut it in half as best you can. And a good way to know if it's equal
is to use this.
Which is what?
Which is...
A scale.
Yeah, a scale.
Okay, so what does this one weigh?
It weighs 1 pound and 9 ounces.
Great. Okay, so what does that one weigh?
1 pound and 11 ounces.
Yeah, so we want to maybe just take a tiny little blob.
Can I?
Yeah, just like that much maybe. Stick it on here. So you want to have 2 9x5-inch loaf pans and just spray them with a little cooking spray. And then you want to take one and I'll take the other. You don't need a rolling pin for this. You can just take it, put it in front of you, okay? And then just kind of make it into a square that is, you can like pull it, like lift it and pull it, just so it's only as wide as your baking pan, okay? So put the baking pan in front and then you can sort of figure that out. Okay, and you want to maybe stretch it out a little bit so it looks kind of like a square.
Oh, and warm.
It's warm like a marshmallow. Okay, and then you're just gonna roll it up like this, really tight, like that, and then smash the seam together, like that. You smash that together where it comes. And then you're gonna take your loaf pan, okay, and you're gonna turn it over so it goes seam side down and stick it in there.
Whoa!
That's okay, here.
It's a wonky piece of bread.
It'll be wonky bread. And then just press it down with the palm of your hand so it fills that space in there. Okay, and then we're gonna brush the top with a little bit of oil, olive oil or avocado oil or whatever, just a little on the top. Make sure you get all over. And then we're just gonna lay our wet towel over the top, and then we're just gonna let it rise until it's nice and puffy. Probably, well, it depends on how warm your kitchen is, but probably I would check it in half an hour and then 45 minutes and then an hour, because it might take half an hour, it might take an hour. Okay.
See you in a little bit. Okay, so it's been about 45 minutes, and about half an hour in, you want to set your timer to
Your oven
to 375 degrees Fahrenheit.
And when they're ready, let's show them what they look like. Be really gentle. So you're going to be super gentle. So they've risen up just above the rim of our loaf pan, and we're going to put them in the oven now.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do it.
You do it. You're really gentle.
It's really hot.
Yeah, it's 375 degrees in there.
They will not like that.
They will love that.
The yeast will love that?
Yeah.
Why?
It'll rise up and bake. Okay. Bake well, little breads.
Do you want to hear a joke?
Yeah, I want to hear a joke. We haven't had a joke yet.
What is the most powerful potato in the galaxy?
No idea.
Darth Tater.
Ah! Hey, welcome back.
Yeah.
Our bread smells so good.
Yeah.
I think it's done.
Yeah,
It's been 35 minutes, so we're going to take it out of the oven.
Get the hot pads.
Okay, get some hot pads and woo! You know your bread is done when it smells great and it looks really nice and golden brown. So put that up there like that.
Smells amazing.
Can you get the other one?
Yep.
We have wacky hair now.
Yeah, I'm a cat. I just grew cat ears.
Okay, so it's been like 10 minutes, and we're gonna turn these out and then let them cool. So you want to flip them over so they can cool for a little bit, and you don't want to cut into them until they actually cool off quite a bit, like maybe a little bit warm. But
Why?
if you cut into them when they're really hot, all the steam will come out and then they will dry out. Yeah. So we're gonna let them cool, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna cut a piece and we're gonna eat it.
Yummy!
Okay, the bread is cooled and And we get to eat it. Do you want the end, or do you want to
No,
like
I want
regular
an in
piece?
piece.
You want an end piece?
No, I want an in piece.
Oh, you want an in piece. Can you see that? That looks so good. It's still a little bit warm. We cheated.
Mmm. Good.
Mmm.
Enjoy your bread. Made with jam, honey, butter.
This bread, I have to tell you, makes really good toast.
Yeah.
And
Potatoes.
I think we all need a little toast right now.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe and like us if you like the video.
Goodbye!
Bake-a-rama,
California!
It's okay if you're excited. Okay.
You're editing that out.
Yes,
Dad.
we are.